Good afternoon. The Rocket re-enters the rarefied atmosphere of the Crucible once again, 1 week after his opening win in this year's Betfair World Snooker Championship. And today at 2:30, he's back out on the stage, this time to face A.Carter, the man he's beaten in 2 world finals. So the return of one of the great showmen in snooker again today. But yesterday we said a fond farewell to a brand new Crucible favourite, Thailand's Jack Poomjang.
He wins the match 13 frames to 3, but well done to Detswat. A total breath of fresh air. I've enjoyed every minute, and look at that, he's shaking hands with his audience. He is a popular Thai player. I hope we see him again.
Well, Steve and John have certainly shared in all of the fun and excitement generated by Poomjang here at the Crucible, and you know, he's left an indelible impression, not just as a clown prince either, Steve.
No, obviously people come to the World Championship to watch pure top-class entertainment in different ways. Not everybody comes just for the competition, and I think Poomjang's just lit up the room. And to think that he actually stole the show from Judd Trump, who was on the other table. What a performance against Stephen Maguire.
It was indeed, to knock out the number 5 seed. You have to obviously pay tribute, though, to Michael White, also a fellow rookie, and to keep his composure and stay in the zone against Poomjang was certainly impressive.
Certainly was. Second session, sometimes you can look at that scoreboard, think 7-1, I've got, you know, take a few liberties here. Didn't do any of that. Very professional all the way about it. Scored heavily, good break building. Had to win the last frame to make sure he won with a session to spare. That's what he did. Indeed.
OK, well, he became the first man through to the quarter-finals. As for Poomjang, well, he's gone back to Thailand to see his wife and his 18-month-old daughter. He's earned £16,000 from his Crucible debut, which has doubled his career earnings. And he says he's promising to be back. We certainly hope so, don't we? Yeah. A little bit more news from last night, though, and it was Shaun Murphy who booked his place in the quarterfinals, came through 13 frames to 11 against Graham Dott. So for the first time in 25 years, no Scots in the quarterfinals, apart, of course, from the referees, Michaela Tabb and Leo Scullion. 49. John Parrott, you were commentating on this. What a fantastic last session they produced.
Absolutely superb, and Graham Dott was brilliant in that match as well. His shot selection all through there. I mean, you know he's a competitor. You've really got to scrape him off the table to beat him, but Murphy, he stood in there with him for all the safety play, scored heavily, potted a fantastic last red in the frame to clear up. Brilliant performance.
Indeed. OK, so Shaun Murphy is through. Well, we're getting back to the fight to get into the quarterfinals alongside Shaun and Michael White, and it was supposed to be Poomjang and Michael White playing their third session this morning, but of course Michael tied it all up yesterday. So instead this morning it was Messrs Trump and Fu who had the floor to themselves. And before we see that morning session, let's remind you of how things stood after their first 8 frames yesterday.
But he's got to hit this red. Could be costly if he doesn't.
Oh, and a miss.
Well, that was adventurous.
16.
One apiece. How does he get on the blue? Nearly.
91.
Nothing to choose between them. It's two apiece.
Oh, great pot. Excellent pot.
Judd Trump marches on. It's now 4 frames to 2. This game at the moment, it seems to me, is looking very difficult for Marco Fu. He's potting 2 at a time now. Slow down. Is there anything that he can't pot? I don't know about naughty snooker. This is scary snooker. Hello. Attention, all pockets. Oh, hello there! And he leads justifiably for me by 6 frames to 2.
Yes, 3 centuries yesterday from Judd had the bookmakers hacking into his odds for the title, 4-1 now, they reckon. But how would the Hong Kong player respond this morning? Well, as you might have seen, the first 4 frames of the morning were shared. So as we pick them up, it's 8-4 to Trump. And this is frame 13 in the company of John Virgo, Dennis Taylor.
And Judd, he's got to take full advantage of that. He can push on from here. This match played to a finish this evening. First to 13, so he could give himself quite an easy task this evening. Meanwhile, he's just underscrewed that slightly. Didn't want to be playing this one, he wanted to be playing the one next to the pink, which he's going to do now.
Good Trump 4.
So he's starting to miss a few also. It was his previous shot. He still should have knocked that in, I felt, but he should have been straight on the red and not using the rest.
Well, he covered the possibility of a plant. I don't think so. Well, he's got down. A little shake of the head. It's the red that's just away from the one over the pocket. Maybe he can't hit enough of it to knock one red onto the other.
Yeah, he's going to have to cut the one into the middle pocket. The white will be going towards the yellow. That's why he's playing it with a little bit of bottom on the cue ball. He's got a red over the corner pocket, so he hasn't got a great deal to do with the cue ball. Just roll the brown in as we show you the white. Hitting the yellow there to leave him near the cushion, but should be okay here. And he has got a path through to this one, but keep an eye on the cue ball. Here's a finish one. If he puts any sort of side on it, he'd go into the reds near the pink. He's just looking to see if he could cannon the other red, but I don't think he could do that. He's better off just playing this with a little bit of drag, and he should be able to stay on the pink or blue. Or maybe he can get the cannon. He couldn't.
6.
But that'll do nicely, as long as the white pulls up.
Obviously, if he was straighter on the blue, he could just roll the blue in. He may elect just to play a little cannon here, just to hold the cue ball. Well, he's just playing above centre, so he's running through. He must think he can get on the next ball without a problem. And he was right. That was very well played.
11.
Obviously, off this red, he can play the black. And there you go. Just needed to miss the kiss on the red, which he did. And that automatically come round and left him on this red. So he's played for the black. The only downside to this, you feel that when the black's respotted, it certainly won't be available into the left corner because of the two reds. And I think it's a bit risky to pot the black and maybe cannon, screw back and cannon into those reds. It could go wrong. Yeah, if you're not sure, stand up and be certain of what you're going to play when you get down next time. Well, he did try and get the cannon. As I say, that was the problem for me. It could go wrong.
19.
So the black's not available into the corner, and now he's hampered. It's going to make it difficult, particularly using the spider, to get position on the next colour.
Well, he almost bounced the white off the table, but he's got an angle on the blue to run through and leave the red that's next to the black. I think both of those go in the right corner there. You can see the angle he has. There's another red near the pink will go, but through for the two I mentioned. And all of a sudden it's developed into a good opportunity.
Yes, he did well, didn't he, to find the perfect angle on the blue.
$26.
Looks perfect to pot the black and screw back for the red in the same pocket.
$33. 34.
There is a red that is available, but he's got a perfect angle to cannon into the right of the reds there. There's two reds together. Could open up. Will he take the chance here? He did. Oh, has he gone too far? I think he's okay. Great chance now.
41.
Yeah, he's on that. Important for Marco
42.
to go on to take the frame, because Judd did miss a shot with the rest where he didn't quite get on the red as he intended. This is the one here, but still expected him to knock that in. So he's certainly still in this match.
49. 50.
As I say, we've said on so many occasions about his temperament. It's pretty good normally. He was feeling a little bit down as we seen him run out of the arena. He knew he had a great chance to get two behind, but he's back on track here.
$57.
So, Just the red and the blue.
58.
And one more red. This blue will put him 58 points in front with 59 remaining. And pot the red, and he'll go 59 ahead with only
63.
51 remaining. So it looks a formality.
The last time he was 4 frames behind. He responded with a break of 83. And he was 4 behind again, and this is a response with this break. So he's keeping himself
69.
firmly in this match. Still a long way back, but 8-5 over 3 sessions.
$76.
Yes, and that
77.
83 break he made in the 11th frame was his highest of the match. And that now becomes his highest of the match, and a good chance of a century. But
84.
the only thing, if you're a Marco Fu supporter, you would say that
85.
he's getting in, and he got in here by Judd Trump missing. Now, you can't always depend on that. He's never really won a frame in one visit without his opponent having a chance.
Well, he needs a delicate little pink now into the middle if he's to make the century break. He's made 45 centuries this season. That's going a bit. Oh, it's there. I thought it was going to turn onto the jaw. Well done. And that's the 22nd century
99.
this year at the Crucible when the blue goes in. Well played, Marco.
104.
Yes, he's taken these very well. The way the
110.
match started off, the first 4 frames were shared, and then Judd Trump ran away. Well, he was looking to play one of those. I'm surprised Judd didn't run out of the arena just as he was going to play it. Anyway, nice to see a little bit of fun from Marco. Excellent break of 117. He's still 3 behind, though. It's now 8-5.
And the former Crucible semi-finalist, Marco, won frame 14 as well with a break of 66. So he really has found his feet this morning. In we go to the next.
One thing that Judd Trump doesn't want to do now is try to force the issue.
It's a free shot here, you would have to say. The only red he could leave would be the one that he's attempting into the right corner, and he can get himself nicely on the blue. It's there. He seems to be growing in confidence with each pot. Not exactly as he wanted. That's the distance he had there. And there's the result right in the center of the pocket.
Well, that's worked out very nicely indeed. Thank you very much. And he's on a red that he can just drop
6.
on the black. He'd love to get that black on its spot. That's That's where
Seven.
the big breaks are made, when the black's on its spot and available into both corner pockets. Has he come hard enough? He's walking round in a positive manner, so the red must just go through the gap.
14.
I think it does, yes. There you see it does, and he runs through. Well, he's playing a little screw back. It looked like he could run through and just cannon the red to the right
50.
of the black there, but no harm done. Still in perfect position. And definitely signs, Dennis, that the momentum in this match is just beginning to shift in the favour of Marco.
Yeah, you're
22.
still 2 behind, but you can't pot balls if you're sitting in your seat.
23.
That's why it's one of the toughest games to play, snooker. Most games, if your opponent's playing well, you've got a chance to play well, but it's snooker. If your opponent's knocking them in, you got to sit and watch.
Yes, and it's over 27 minutes now since Judd Trump last potted a ball.
30.
Played that nice, just loosened a few reds. I suppose the only downside, he's slightly hampered on this, but he doesn't have to do much with the cue ball. Just drop the red in, automatically will be on the black.
31.
Yeah, even that shot, he could just cue to the side of the reds. When you're struggling, you always seem to be hampered right over the ball, but there's a few instances where he's been able to cue between the reds, and that's what happens when you start playing well. And he's certainly doing that at the moment. The red at the back and to the left of the bunch is available.
38.
And when he pots this, it's going to open the path for another one into the opposite corner. Yeah, the one at the back is now available. It wasn't before he potted that red. No need to play any cannons, because it seems to me as he pots
46.
a red, he's clearing paths for other reds to pot.
Now
he might have come a little awkward here. He'd like to run through and leave the red to the right corner. Might still be able to do that. He doesn't want to cannon into this red. Just was okay, but as I say, he's cleared the path for this red, and he's looking in
54.
superb form now, Marco Fu. He's rode the storm, JV.
Yep, and he's looking now when he does get opportunities that he's going to score heavy, and that's always a confidence builder for any player. When you feel as though you just give me one chance and I'll win the frame. 66 in the last was enough, 117 in the frame before, and this 54 and counting.
55.
I mean, when you face a deficit at the start of a session, as he did 6-2, you're thinking, well, if I can win the session, there's 8 frames, so if you could win the session 5-3, then that would be a goal you set yourself. If you win it 6-2 and level the match, that's a bonus. But if he wins this frame,
62.
he's certain to have 5 of the 8 in his pocket. Just a Couple of reds, couple of colours away from victory now in this frame at this visit. And 253 points he's made without a reply from Judd Trump.
63.
How quickly things can change. But Judd's had one or two chances, one or two long pots that is mainly his strength, and he's missed them. But unlike the first session, Marco Fu now taking full advantage of any error.
Got to be a little bit careful here. And that's okay. He didn't want to snooker himself on this red. A red that will get him over the winning line, you would feel.
Yeah, this red would put him 70 points in front with just 67 remaining.
And this Crucible crowd, well, I've had an entertaining session. But the last few frames, they've been entertained by Marco Fu.
69.
There you see the other table empty. Michael White. As he pops the frame ball and gets a round of applause. Michael White should have been on the other table with Dechawat Pumjang, but that match finished. And Michael's away back to Neath to get a bit of practice in. And Judd, well, he'll now have his thoughts, you would feel, on the final frame. Didn't want to risk the black, but
Marco Fu 70.
barring a snooker, Marco Fu will have taken 3 in a row, and he's just one behind.
And that snooker did not come 3 in a row then for Marco Fu, but Judd won the last to take a 9-7 advantage into their final session this evening. And John Parrott, just when it looked yesterday that Marco Fu would be in danger of being swamped by the high-scoring prowess of Judd Trump, there he is. What sort of chances he'd given himself in tonight's closing session?
Well, massive. He'd have came out today thinking, I've got to win the session, which is exactly what he's done. The only disappointment would be he'd got himself to 1 behind there and he had a chance to go level in it. But you can't look at it like that. The main thing today was win that session, get yourself back in it. And at 9-7, he certainly is.
What was the difference, Steve, between Judd Trump of yesterday and this morning?
Well, it may have been that Marco Fu played to a higher standard because he had to, but obviously the player in front has got a little bit more to protect. He may be looking over his shoulder just a fraction, but when you look at the way that he effectively swatted Marco Fu away like a fly yesterday and just disregarded anything he was doing, it is amazing how the difference between the session can transform things, and it's the frustration of every snooker player that you can't keep on guaranteeing to repeat things time after time, that every session is a different session on a different day.
Indeed. Okay, well that will be tonight, 7 o'clock they'll be back. But we are just about green for go this afternoon in our live coverage from this day 8 at the Crucible. Now we have an all-Essex lineup between Ronnie O'Sullivan and A.Carter, a very familiar lineup to us because they have contested 2 of the last 5 Crucible finals, with Ronnie prevailing each time. In fact, A.Carter has never beaten Ronnie in 12 previous matches in major competitions. So, will it be 13th time lucky in 2013?
The season's been up and down really. I haven't really prepared for tournaments probably as well as what I should have done. Partly because of the busy schedule, partly because I haven't really wanted to. But coming to this tournament, I've prepared right and I've put in a lot of practice. Obviously I've won in Germany as well, which was good, so I feel like for the amount I've put in over the year, all told, I've probably got more than what I deserved out really by winning a tournament. My Crohn's disease has been very bad, to be honest with you, over the last 2 or 3 months. I go and see my consultant on near enough a 2 or 3 weekly basis. and he said, oh, we're going to be looking at another operation after the World Championships, or maybe even before. And I was like, no, I can't have it before, no way, because obviously I want to be here and give myself the best possible chance of winning. But I went to see him again literally 2 weeks ago, and he sort of said the medication is starting to work, and I've felt some improvement. You know, that's just the way it goes. I love playing here. It's a proper tournament, proper snooker players, over a proper format, playing for proper money, how it should be. And that's the only reason why I'd say it's important to me to become a world champion, important to me to do well here. Behind the scenes it looks like, oh, he hasn't played and hasn't picked up his cue, but he's probably better prepared than all of us put together, because he hasn't been travelling here, there and everywhere. So, you know, he's been very clever. In the media's, everyone's looking at him and all eyes are on him. So I'm looking forward to the attention that match creates, and hopefully I can do well and play well and win. Snooker's going for a lot of changes, and, you know, not sure that I'm happy to go with all those changes. So maybe if I won this tournament, maybe that would be enough for me, you know, job done.
And so there is Ali just waiting backstage along with the other players. In fact, 4 of them in this afternoon's session. They're all gathering. World number 1, Mark Selby, there he is in the background, locked in a real struggle against Dartford's Barry Hawkins. Selby 9-7 up with their final session to come. And we've got the Rocket and the captain ready for takeoff. We're just waiting for Ronnie to appear. This record between the two of them, John and Steve, how much relevance does it have in the overall context of this match?
Well, it's got to have some relevance. There is no way that you can be totally confident if you're A.Carter coming against a player that's dominated you. All you can hope from A.Carter's point of view is he's got enough resolve to try and make another assault on the mountain.
John, if Ali's got a game plan, what is it?
The game plan is, instead of when you get to 50, make sure you get to 70, because the only thing Marcus Campbell didn't do in his first round, who I thought played really well, by the way, he got 50 and broke down and Ronnie cleared up. When you get a chance for a break, you've got to make sure it's 70 plus to win the frame in one visit. You've got to score in this match.
OK, everybody present and correct, and the Rocket, the captain and everyone else ready for takeoff again, and so indeed is our MC, Rob Walker.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What an atmosphere we've got here at the Crucible, and what a session of snooker in store at the Betfair World Championships. A rerun of last year's final and the world number 1. You couldn't ask for much more than that. So without any further ado, it's time to get the boys on the base. Please welcome an underrated player now firmly established among the game's elite. He has come of age in the last 18 months. He's won the Blackpool Shootout, the Australian Open at the start of this season, bidding for uncharted territory for his first Crucible quarter-final. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes the eagle-eyed Barry Hawkins. And his opponent, riding high in the world rankings, he's had a sublime season so far, aiming to complete the sports hat-trick. Reigning UK champion, reigning Masters champion, he's the current world number 1. He's the jester from Leicester. He's Mark Selby! And on table number 1, please welcome a player who has shown real strength of character in the last 2 years. The snooker fraternity is delighted to see him back to form and fitness. A superb win in Berlin this spring, perhaps the best of his 3 ranking titles. Hoping to reap revenge for 2 World Championship finals. When he's flying high, he's the captain. He's A.Carter! And finally, the most naturally gifted player ever to grace the modern game. Just 17 years old when he won the UK title 20 years ago. In 1997, a 5-minute 20 maximum break. He's a 4-time world champion who has entertained us in fine style for 2 decades. This is the second stage of the relaunch of the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan!
And we'll be updating with events in the Selby-Hawkins match throughout the afternoon. It is available live to you online, but for now, the table 1 is our focus, and it is for Ken Doherty and Willie Thorne as well. Afternoon, both.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, everybody. And this is the second round match that people have been waiting for. Ronnie O'Sullivan, of course, having won his first match quite convincingly. Everybody was wondering how he would play. And the only thing, in my opinion, that was missing from his first round was his long game wasn't quite as sharp as it needs to be to win the World Championship. Everything else looked exactly as normal. And as far as A.Carter is concerned, he hasn't beat him in the last 12 times they've played, but I think this, Ken, could be his best chance.
Yes, I think we have a different A.Carter than the previous meetings, and of course, winning in Germany will give him that extra little bit of confidence. Been very consistent this season. It's always nice to have a tournament win under your belt coming into this championships. But yeah, it's surprising. 12 times these two guys have played, and O'Sullivan has won every single one. But what a fantastic atmosphere for all the players coming into this wonderful arena.
And there it is, the fabulous Crucible Theatre. 2 tables going on, of course, today. And 4 of the best players in the world on show. There's a shot to nothing here for A.Carter, but he'll have to screw it in, the cut into the left-hand corner, because if he plays it plain ball, he'll kiss the red to the right of the black. So he might not take it on. Doesn't look like he is doing. He's playing safety off the left-hand side of the red.
Well, we'll get a chance to see Ronnie's long potting is today. First chance. Try and swing the cue ball back around the back of the black.
One.
Just about held up for the green.
That's the difference, Ken, isn't it, with people like Ronnie and the top 3 or 4 players in the world. When they play a shot to nothing, they make it into a shot for something. They tend to always leave the cue ball blue side of baulk. Very rarely do you see them go past the baulk line when they're playing that kind of shot. Well, there's an early miss. Has he left anything easy for Ali? Well, there is a red potable above the black, but it's tough.
Surprising early miss from Ronnie. I'm not quite sure what red he was trying to get on there. But he's been fortunate, he hasn't left anything. There's a bit of room behind this green. it's interesting, a lot of people coming into this World Championship, Willie, asking questions about Ronnie O'Sullivan, what kind of form could he be in after not really playing a competitive match for 12 months. He certainly looked very, very sharp in his first round match, and also it could be a factor that some of these guys are playing in this championship, played an awful lot of matches. Has he timed it well, O'Sullivan, that he could be a lot fresher than these guys, or will it go against him?
That's an excellent safety shot from Ali, and to give my opinion on that, Ken, I think that obviously he will be fresher, but what will he be like when he's tested for the first time? Because he hasn't been tested for well over a year, and if ever a match goes close, it'd be interesting to see how his temperament holds up. We know it has done over the years on many, many occasions, but that'll be the first test when it goes close.
Well, there's his view. This is a big shot. This is a tough red. Well, decided against it. And I suppose the reason he did that, it was probably too risky. Definitely would have left A.Carter in had he had missed, but decent safety.
I think if it had been the first frame, he'd have took it on. He wants to try and make sure he gets the first frame on the board. Now, there could be a gap here to this red, and I think there is. And the pink's available, so this is the first real chance in this match so far for Ronnie.
Played it nicely. I'm not quite sure what he can, as we see the shot again, get on the red, just the right of the black. The fact that he can use.
It's happened a couple of times this week, but obviously players have sometimes come to the venue with new shoes on, and you can see Ronnie's just saying that he's slipped on the floor there. This carpet must be very shiny as well as static. There goes the shoe off. I don't blame him for that at all. I don't know whether Ronnie's got new shoes on, but he's certainly got slippy soles at the moment.
Yeah, he's having to use the extension now. Yeah, that red to the right of the black, if he could get on that red, it would be nice. Not quite sure what he can do from this pink here.
It's hard to screw behind the black with the spider. We know that the two reds to the right of the pink pot in this pocket, they clearly see it, but he's got to get on them. And if he misses the kiss, it's perfect. Just slowed the white down with a kiss, but he's still okay.
Thanks. Seven. Eight.
Tried to get on the blue there, overshot it. Yeah, red left to the pink is preference. Well, if you can get on the pink here, almost a little bit straight on the pink, you can certainly run down for that red. Well, back up
15.
for blue. I thought he might try and get on the pink, and you know, that red just to the right of the black, that's causing him problems at the moment. And there you see, first chance he could get. And this will certainly open things up.
80.
That was beautifully controlled, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Not too sure whether he can hold this. Looking at that feature there, I think he can.
90.
Oh, I don't know. He hit that very thick. This might not go right. There's a red passes the pink in the middle, but clearly this is missable.
26.
Well, there we see the angle he has. If it was the angle going towards the blue with the cue ball, it would make it a little bit easier. But the fact that he's going inside the pink, this makes it so much more difficult, this shot. Oh, that's a tremendous putt.
27.
That is a tremendous putt. He's going to need another one. Oh, this is unbelievable. He's still not perfect. Two good putts those were, Willie.
It's amazing sometimes you get yourself in a little hole, and the harder you try, you still can't get out of the hole. He's still got a red available in the middle, but as you can clearly see, it's not the greatest of angles, and he will be leaving reds on should he miss it. He could probably just about play out for the blue and leave the white in the jaws of the left-hand pocket, which, should he miss it, at least he'll have Ali playing a difficult shot. But he's gone all out for it, and it's not there.
On your Sullivan, 34.
Never quite got the cue ball under control there.
One.
Well, unbelievable. He got into that a little bit too
6.
much. Plenty of room anywhere. Just wanted that cue ball to run just a couple more inches. He was trying to get on the red just below the pink, but so much room for error there. Just got into the cue ball too much.
Seven.
Same scenario, isn't it? Neither player has yet got the cue ball under control. Ali can pot the pink in the middle. This was a tough shot to pot with a long rest. And he has got the kiss that means that the black's not available, but the pink's available in the middle. And it's one of those where, like Ronnie's, he's going to have to get hold of this. He can play to get into the red just closest to the pink. It will pass, but you need to stun it in. Played for the red in baulk. And an excellent shot that is, well played. That's the first time the player has had the cue ball under control. This now a good chance to take the opening frame.
Well,
he seems to be getting into the cue ball a lot more than needed. There's a little bit of tension in the arm. Obviously there you can see the blue is only possible off one side jaw. Doesn't pot off the right hand jaw. I think he's going to have to take the blue though, because the brown or yellow is not the easiest. That's the view. You can see, I mentioned he can't see the left-hand side jaw, but he can see the right-hand side jaw. And when we look at it from the straight-on camera, he's decided against it. I'm a little surprised he's not taking that on, because I think he'd pot that without a problem. The brown is definitely a harder shot than the blue. And the yellow is just as tough.
A.Carter, 14.
He's a little bit reluctant to take this red that's right of the pink, because he may be knocking that red or another red towards this left-hand corner pocket. And that's the problem.
Probably more worried about kissing the black, Ken, as well, isn't he? Because if he catches it a little thick, it can into the black. So I can only presume he's taking this on. Very dangerous.
Yeah, a little bit surprised he did take it on, because as you see from the position of the cue ball, nothing really much to go at. Well, anywhere but straight. He is blessed with a lot of cue power, A.Carter. We may see an example of this here. He's going to need it to get on these reds. Lots of side spin. Needs to miss the blue. That was unlucky.
4.
Still on these reds, but a lot tougher now. He's so close to the right-hand side cushion. When you're digging down on the cue ball as well, it does make it even more difficult. And you see he's got to dig down on this. These are missable.
A.Carter, 4.
So both players now have been in the balls on 2 occasions, and this is, you expect a little nervous start. A.Carter, because he has such a poor record against Ronnie. Ronnie, because it's only his second competitive match for quite some time. So they're both showing a little bit of tension at the moment.
One. Eight. Nine.
Yeah, just looking at the scores, that puts him 26 points ahead. Black, red, black, 41 ahead with 43 left on the table. So he's going to need one of those reds on the left-hand side of the table.
16.
This is where the fact that Ronnie can play left-handed, Ken, isn't
7.
it? So important, because these would be a difficult shot for a right-handed player. Because he'll just drop on the red, that where a normal right-handed player would obviously need the... Mind you, this might be on nothing. He's completely misjudged that. I was going to say a normal right-handed player would need the rest. It's unlike Ronnie to make such an error as that. can only presume Kenny thought the angle was just kissing into the red.
Yeah, I think he overshot it. I don't even think that he wanted to play the kiss. I think he just wanted to be short of that red and
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 24.
just play it, as you said, left-handed. The one that's close to the pocket. Decided it was worth the risk of the double.
And I mentioned right at the top, the only thing that appears missing is Ronnie's long game, and that's about the third long shot he's gone for in this game and hasn't come close yet. And he'll be trying to push the red to the other red and white behind the yellow. A little bit hard.
Well, he couldn't have cued that much better. That was an excellent pot, and that will certainly, I feel, secure the frame. 42 points ahead. 35 remaining. Black will definitely put it beyond doubt.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1.
Well, he will play on, A.Carter, there's no doubt about that. Needing 2 4-point snookers.
Yes, it's interesting to see the way that Ronnie played this particular shot. He would have been leaving the red on should he have missed it, but knew he'd got the insurance of the red that was safe. Once again, how far away was that long shot? He's yet to hit the jaws on a long pot.
Yeah, this is the angle, but he's got to be careful with the cue ball. It doesn't go close to this bottom pocket. It's not too bad, and he may have replied with a snooker here. May just be on the red. But the fact that the black has now gone over the brown spot, well, tried to get it behind the yellow, and that's definitely end of frame now, you would feel.
1.
Yeah, it's been a bit scrappy, hasn't it, Willie? Hasn't been the best opening frame, but that won't bother Ronnie, I'm sure. It's always so nice to get off to win that first frame. Settles you down.
6. 6.
Well, he's missed the yellow, and A.Carter stays in his chair. He said that's enough. And it's Ronnie O'Sullivan, the defending champion, takes the opening frame. He leads by 1-0.
And some great examples of some very good cueing there, and a couple of misses thrown in as well. Steve, I've got to pick you up on something. This morning, you're extensively quoted in a number of newspapers saying that it's going to take a superhuman effort to beat O'Sullivan this year. Why do you think that?
Did I say that? Did I really say that?
Yes.
Okay, well, I think the reason why is because he has got the evil eye over most players. I think most players who come out are sort of in his shadow. I think 2 players aren't. One of them's already out, John Higgins, and the other player who I think may be the one that can cause him problems and has shown that he can stand up against him is Mark Selby. Yeah, and a sneaking suspicion that that could be the final, but it's very early days. But most players, I think, are sort of in awe of his ability.
And of course, we haven't really seen what A.Carter's capable of in this match so far. What do you make of the early exchanges there, John?
As the boys said, a little bit scrappy, the opening frame. Obviously going to settle down. Still think it's very important that if Ali's going to make any inroads in this match, go back to the same thing, got to score. Did have a couple of opportunities and that weren't the best. Difficult to get on colours on a few occasions, but he's got to score when he gets his chances.
OK, early days, O'Sullivan ahead.
Yes, and it was a frame that both players had needed 3 or 4 chances. Eventually Ronnie took the extra chance and put Ali out of the game, but neither player has settled just yet.
Surprised A.Carter put the cue ball up on the left-hand side of the table. This red does pot, as you can see. It's a good safety shot. A situation very shortly where we could have a re-rack. The fact that that red has gone over the corner pocket, I'm sure both players will just nestle into the pack with each shot and may look at each other and say, let's set them up and start again. Oh my goodness.
Foul.
Well, can you believe that?
Miss.
Yeah. He miscued there. And he's left the gap for this red over the corner pocket. That was amazing.
One.
Well, so much for the re-rack, Ken, but I agree with you that it was just... I don't think I've ever seen a player miscue like that. But it was coming in high over the reds. Oh dear. What is happening here? A.Carter all of a sudden now be pleased he miscued.
One.
A little unlucky there, Ali, playing to bring other reds into play, and he hit them well. But unfortunately, they all stuck together. Tried to just push reds towards the middle pocket, really dug into this cue ball.
Okay.
Got the cue ball movement, but didn't get the red movement.
Yes, we'll have another opportunity here. Can he come off this? He's got a hit almost at the knuckle of the pocket on the right-hand side as we look from our TV screens. Off the top cushion, can hit this as hard as he likes. Try and split those reds. Well, he's not on the red to the right centre, but I think he has one up into the yellow pocket. And it's pretty straight, so he won't be leaving anything as well should he miss. So there's not so much pressure on this. It's a pot you'd expect A.Carter to get. He's just
A.Carter 8.
not settled down just yet. He's missed a few balls that you wouldn't expect him to.
Excellent safety shot, and I'm not too sure whether my eyes deceived me there. As the white was coming up to the brown, it seemed to rock to the right a little bit. Let's just see if we can pick this up as it's just slowing up. So just turn over a little bit.
Keep the noise down, please.
This is dangerous, isn't it, taking this plant on? The Grand National was a couple of weeks ago. Well, it could be under frame.
Yes, Ronnie just having a look at the black spot, which is obviously occupied by this red, just having a look to see where the black will go. It'll go directly behind that red that's on the black spot, in line with the top cushion. And the fact that the red is to the left of that black spot, it means that when the black goes behind this red, the red will still pot. And that's what he was just going in to check. We'll see referee Amber Haas. He has to put it directly in line with its own spot. And of course, in line with the top cushion. And I'm sure that red will pot into the bottom left-hand corner pocket. And that's what Ronnie was just coming around to check now. The black won't pot, but the red should do. Ronnie just having a look up the line just to make sure that it's in line with both pink spot and blue spot.
9.
Yes, it wasn't the best positional shot. Not the blue, but to be straight on the blue was a bit of a strange one. A bit more work to do with the cue ball now.
15.
Nothing appearing to be straightforward to Ronnie at the moment. Doesn't have that much practice with the rest, of course, with being a very, very good left-handed player. recovery. Just sees an angle on the next blue now if he's just past the
18.
the blue on the left-hand side, and of course he'll be able to come down for that red that Ken was talking about. He's on it now, so I wonder whether he'll play it this time. Perhaps will.
Yeah, if you can get the cue ball somewhere around that position and that circle I've just put in. Not quite sure we'll do it from this shot. Yes, there you go. First chance available. Always attacking
24.
the black and around the black spot, trying to free it up as quickly as possible.
25.
The reason he's done that, Willie, is that he knows that once that black is in the open, it becomes an obvious frame winning opportunity. It just makes this so much easier for him.
33.
And positions like this that it doesn't look like it's had any effect on him taking that year out. Looks pretty good once he gets in around.
41.
Balls are open, making breaks. Well, as you said, Willie, just this long ball game is a little bit off today. But when he's
48. 49.
Glance at the scoreboard will tell him he's 46 points in front, so he needs another 2 reds to be absolutely assured. That's why he played the cannon.
Yeah, that was a lovely
56.
shot, wasn't it? Purposely went into the reds. No wonder there was a red always on the left-hand side of the table.
57.
That was in the open, even if the split didn't work out.
$63. 64. 70. 71. 78.
Oh, what a shame, no century, but he did what he had to do there, got a scoring chance and won the frame at one visit. Ronnie O'Sullivan not looking sharp yet, but he still takes the 2-0 lead.
So Ronnie O'Sullivan breaks off. As we see those statistics, really incredible. 118 crucible centuries in his career, these championships.
Foul. A miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Well, referee's called a miss. Ronnie can have the balls replaced, but there is a long straight red he's just having a look at.
We'll get a chance, Ken, won't we, to look right down the line of this shot to see how how he cues it. Well, unfortunately, he's putting it back. I mean, normally, Ronnie, if he was playing anything like his long game was good, there's no way in the world he'd refuse that.
I'm not sure where it was. Yeah. You happy with that, Ali? Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, go ahead. No.
Well, Ronnie maybe wishing he had a go at that red when it was in the open. Yes, A.Carter had him in a bit of trouble there, and he's forced a mistake.
One.
And these are the type of situations, aren't they, Willie, that A.Carter really has to make the most of. If he has any ambitions of winning this match, he really has to take his chances and put a bit of pressure on the Ronnie.
He's already had a couple of half chances. This, as yet, is not a good chance because the reds are pretty tied up. That's why he's gone into him at the earliest convenience. And if he's not on one there, he's very unlucky because he couldn't have played that shot
6.
better. There's certainly one in the vault pocket available. Once you see this white gather speed off the second cushion, he couldn't have got into them with a better white. It was a free white, and it looks like there's nothing straightforward. Nothing in this left-hand corner, and the one he's going to play in the vault pocket, he missed one like this by quite a considerable margin in the opening frame. Maybe he's got the chance of potting it in the middle, kissing off the other red, running up for blue or bought colour. I think he'd have been better off just running that in. So at the minute, Ali's considered himself a little unfortunate. He's played a couple of good shots and unfortunately not been rewarded for it.
Yeah, still a pot that you'd expect him to get, though. Nearly fluked the red into the green pocket, but again, as in the last frame, an easy starter for Ronnie.
One.
Got a very big bounce off the cushion, but luckily for Ronnie, the red just past the middle pocket is one he can play for now. I think he's the best player off the cushion I've ever seen in my life. He's able to play fierce run-throughs like he did there to get onto a red rather than just roll them in.
7.
A lot of players rather on the cushion don't trust their cue action. Ronnie does. There's every possibility it could go 3-0 here, and it doesn't.
12.
With the chances Ali has, it doesn't look like a 3-0 scoreline, really. Ali's had a couple of chances.
13.
Yeah, a little Roy smiled to himself. I'm sure he's disappointed he didn't get a better split.
20. One. $28. 29. $36. 37. $42.
Yeah, played on a couple of reds there. Ideally would have loved to have been on the one that just below the pink spot.
No more rest?
You'll have to use the rest and extension for this one. Still okay.
Thanks. 43.
Can obviously get into the loose red into the middle, but he obviously doesn't have an angle to go into them. That's why he's played for the loose one. He's going to need one more cannon to bring reds into play.
50.
He's 48 in front, this is 49, so he's going to need at least 2, possibly 3 reds, depending on what colours he takes. Purpose
51.
left an angle. Look, that's so clever to make it so simple to put a little nudge on the red next to it and be on 2 reds into the corner. And that now is going to win in the frame. Just one little cannon like that, that's all it took.
57.
Just a little delicate cannon that to leave him on 2 reds, and that's a frame winner.
58.
Yes, there you see it. 63
65.
ahead. 67 remains. So just this red for the frame. Doesn't want to get off. Oh.
66.
Ronnie's bemused how close that white got to the corner pocket.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 66. One.
Well, he would love to get these couple of reds, this one back onto the black, and the one just beside it.
9.
He's just overhit that slightly. The reason I say he wanted to try and leave the red behind the pink, he wanted to try and leave that to last, but I'm not quite sure whether he can do that now. He may have to go in and out of balk. Oh, that's just worrying about position.
A.Carter, 9.
That will certainly put an end to this frame. 55 ahead now, 43 remaining.
One. Six. Six and a frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Yes, A.Carter says that's enough once again. And it's all Ronnie O'Sullivan at the moment.
He takes the frame. He now leads by 3 frames to 0.
And let's assess this from A.Carter's perspective. This is just exactly what he'd feared, I'm sure.
What he didn't want, that's for sure. What you've got to do with O'Sullivan, apart from play brilliantly against him, is to try and stay with him, keep with him through the match and show him that you're there to play. And you don't need to give him a start because he's like a steam train and run away from you.
What do you think have been the specific problems from Ali's point of view so far, Steve?
Well, bizarrely, in a match that's so long, over 3 sessions, if he looks back on it, and if he does lose this match, you look at the first frame. And so often, even in a long session match, the first frame can be instrumental in your downfall. He had chances, albeit not easy ones, but they've been the best chances he's had so far. It certainly could be that, you know, sort of set the pattern for the session. So now he's playing damage limitation. You know, if he's going to say like 6-2, he might even be happy with. And that's not a great way to start a match.
He was a little bit unlucky in the last frame, played a really good shot to split the pack up, and he didn't land perfectly, but he played the red in the middle pocket, like a little bit as if he was disappointed by this positional play, and of course he missed it, and after that never had a sniff after that.
Well, it's potentially a long match, but Ali's given himself a huge amount to do in the early stages already.
Yes, I couldn't agree with him more, Hazel. That was going to be my first line. You can't, as we always say in commentary, win a match in the first session, but you can certainly almost put yourself out of it. You know, what Ali doesn't want is anything silly like a 7-1 result in this session. Somehow he's got to dig as deep as possible and just try and get out of it 5-3 or something like that. Obviously, he can still win the remaining 5 frames, but it's unlikely the way the match has started.
Yes, I wonder how much that plays on Ali's mind every time he plays Ronnie O'Sullivan. The fact that he's never beaten him. 12 occasions now. And I suppose like in matches like this, Willie, as you get further and further behind, and how much it sort of comes into his own mind. It certainly has to have some sort of an effect on you. It's just a matter how strong you are to try and put it to the back and just take each game as they come along.
Yeah, Ali has spells, doesn't he, where he's a little bit annoyed round the table and looks like he's giving in sometimes, but he's such a fighter and he's got such a great Crucible record. I'm a big fan of A.Carter's game. I think he's a very, very good break builder. Half-decent safety player as well, so he's got all the attributes to play well here at the Crucible. But as you mentioned, that record against Ronnie, it's always hard when you're playing a player that you haven't beaten before, but I just felt this was his best chance coming into this match in the World Championship. With Ronnie not knocking too many long ones in at the moment, I thought he was going to get a few chances, and in fairness, he's 3-0 behind. He's had chances every game.
Yes, and it was an example of how good Ronnie's safety can be. Purposely played down the left-hand side of the table. Played it a bit harder, brought some reds into play. It was a good shot here. Get it back safe. And he'd be happy with that, yeah. Little tap on the table from Ronnie.
very fortunate to get the kiss on the red because he's playing into baulk and the pink pots. This is an amazing piece of good fortune. When you 3 in front, you get it. All he's doing is playing the cut and the white back into baulk. But as you can see there, kiss the red, and look where the cue ball ended up. Absolutely plumb on the pink. That's not going to make Ali feel any better.
Seven.
That look of Ali there told a story, didn't he? How fortunate he felt Ronnie was to get onto that pink.
8.
And in fairness, it was Ali's best safety shot there. He was in all sorts of trouble and managed to swing the cue ball round. And Ronnie found one.
$13. 14.
Now then, Ali.
Sullivan, 14.
Got to brush yourself down now. Get out of this mini session 3-1 and regroup at the interval. Nothing straightforward though for the first red. A yellow I didn't expect him to miss. That's what happens, you see. Everything's like a little bit betwixt and between here. The one nearest the black is on, but can't really hold for the black. The one that definitely pots, the one that's just below the pink spot into the corner pocket, is going to have to do something with the cue ball. Got to play a stun run through to get through the gap. And if that white doesn't slow down, it's on nothing. Just pulled up just in time, but hardly any chance from brown to red to get good position. It's too close. Just got an angle, so maybe I'd have forced it. Sounded a bit strange, that one, but obviously Jan Verhaas, one of our best referees, felt it was all fair and square.
5.
All fair.
Six. Nine. 10.
Just didn't get into the cue ball there. He's still okay. Wanted to be top side of the blue there, have a nice angle. Took him back for the reds. And good pot. Now wants to be top side of the blue here. I'm potting this red.
15.
And try and get an angle that he can maybe go into the red and pink there, covering the black spot.
16.
Looks like he has a nice angle. Now when he's stun down into the pink or the red, trying to bring them into play, he'll still be on the red into the left corner pocket.
It's one of those, Ken, isn't it, where you're almost better off playing it hard, this, to try and push the pink up towards its own spot. Because if he plays it slowly, the cannon, it could keep it safe. Didn't play either, but he can work on the black at the moment, get the black out into open play.
21.
He knows it's risky to play on the black, but he can't win the frame without getting one of these big colours in play. Well done.
22. $29. $30.
By far and away the highest break of the match so far as A.Carter is concerned, and this is undoubtedly a chance now to take the frame at this visit. Not easy though, is it, where the balls are?
37.
And Ken and I both suggested that from the blue a little bit earlier on he could have brought the pink into play. Look at the trouble the pink's causing now. Tying that red up completely.
38. $45.
Now what kind of angles he got on this black? Can he get into those two reds on the side cushion? If not, he could screw back for the one on the baulk line. There's the angle, it's not good, so he'll screw up towards the baulk line and get onto that red in baulk. Bit hard. Needs the rest, and he'd do well to get onto a colour.
53. A.Carter, 53.
Well, that was a clever shot, wasn't it? He's been very unfortunate, to be honest. He got the double kiss because he tried to either plant the red or knock it away from the corner pocket, and of course bring the pink into play.
And he can pot the black this time, and once again I don't think he's got the angle to move the red. I think it's a little thin. He's 40 in front, this will be 47, so somehow he's going to have to try and pot one more red. Just roll it in dead weight and leave the red into the corner. I decided to play for the one on the baulk line again, and we know what happened last time.
8.
Yes, just contemplating whether it's worth the risk. He only needs the red to leave running, needing the snookers, but it is very risky.
Thank you. A.Carter, 8.
Yeah, the only reason I thought he may attempt the pot is because of the two reds are on the left-hand side of the table. We're already tied up. It may have been worth the risk just having a go.
A little bit unlucky there from Ronnie. He's entitled to have a go at that red. I think on reflection, the chances that Ali's had, that they'd be pretty pleased with 3-1, to be honest. I'm sure Ronnie will be making his way to his dressing room when A.Carter eventually misses.
7.
He'll try the double here. Ronnie still fancies it.
A.Carter 7.
54 behind, so 3 penalties, 4-point penalty snookers needed. Unlike Ronnie to carry on when the frame just before the interval.
Oh, that was a nice long pot. Still has a lot of work to do here. I'd be hoping to keep this red on the table. Of course, there is always the possibility
7.
of getting a free ball. Red up behind the yellow, white behind the pink. He's overshot that.
Sullivan 7.
The white had it been behind the pink, it seemed to fly off that side cushion a little bit. This would have been a lot more difficult to hit.
Yeah, the balls are in a good position for snookers at the moment. That's why Ronnie is carrying on. It's amazing how you can find gaps when you're playing shots like that. Quite a considerable gap this time between black and blue. That's a clever little shot from Ali, well done. So once again, I think there's a gap there. I has to swerve it a little bit. The red's very close. Ronnie would ideally like to keep the red out as well. And I'm sure it's going to be the end of the game. Both players can have a cup of tea. Ronnie might concede before the shot, but as a gentleman that he is, he's letting Ali take the red.
One.
It's ungentlemanly, of course, to concede while your opponent's at the table, but Ali, even though he's getting a bit of potting practice, doesn't really need it at this stage with the interval coming up.
4. 6. 9. 13.
Series of decent breaks, 34, 78, 66 from O'Sullivan.
18.
53 from Carter, so it's been a decent standard, albeit players are having 2 and 3 chances of frame at the moment. But that won't worry Ali Carter. That break of 53 is more than enough to set the Cassids for the frame winner at the end, and he's reduced the deficit to just 3-1, 2 frames behind.
So the captain has taken off, but Ronnie O'Sullivan is 3-1 up. There they are. They're the Birmingham boys. They come here every year to Sheffield and they always dress up. Their wives think they've gone to golf, but they haven't. Ladies, they are wandering around Sheffield city centre like that. However, we'll leave them be. They're having a great time. Have we gleaned much more about Ronnie O'Sullivan's form from those opening 4 frames, Steve?
I think he's in very decent form, but he missed the one yellow, effectively let Ali Carter off the hook, and it was looking like it could well be 4-0 until that point. Ali Carter will be delighted to have scrambled a frame back.
Many commentators have said that we're never really going to find out the level of form that Ronnie is able to achieve right now after a year out until he's put under pressure. That is not happening so far, John.
Well, the trouble is you've got to play really well to do it. He has given chances early on, and I go back to it, and Steve said, you know, the first frame's so important, even in a match first to 13 frames, so important the first frame. He had the chances there, didn't put him under it, and now he found himself under it, 3-0 behind, but he'd be delighted to only be 2 behind at that interval instead of 4.
Some of the clearances he made in his first round match against Marcus Campbell, I thought he was sharp anyway.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, once a player like Ronnie O'Sullivan gets his teeth into this tournament, regardless of whether he hasn't had any match play during the season, it's effectively business as usual.
OK, well, it is at the moment 3-1 up as he heads off for the interval. Now, if you've been putting off, well, your shopping or a visit to the gym or anything else, the DIY, for example, just to watch Ronnie this afternoon, we can't say we blame you. It would appear that Ronnie's return to competitive sport has been fascinating everybody, and also absorbing are his thoughts on this, his greatest challenge in snooker.
It feels strange because obviously been out for a while, so you miss the actual competing and just kind of, I mean, I forgot to bring my shirts down here the first time, so I was like, I had to go back home to get my shirts, and then my waistcoat, I put it on and that was too big, so I thought if I get through my first round I'll get that retailored. So, you know, just silly little things like that, you know, you just kind of lose the routine and the rhythm of what it's like to be on tour. I didn't miss snooker for the whole year that I was out. I just missed having something to do. So obviously, if I had something else to replace it with, which I would hope to happen eventually, you know, then I would then probably take more time out. You know, that word genius and that gets thrown about quite a lot, but I think anyone that knows me knows how hard I've worked at the game. I had great role models, Steve Davis, Stephen Hendry, so I set my boundaries high. And I think that's, I just play it in a way that looks like it comes easy, but trust me, it doesn't come easy. So when people say that you're the most talented, most this, you kind of just think, you know, they don't really know what they're talking about, I think, you know, personally, because for me, the greatest player to ever played this game is Stephen Hendry, and that's without a doubt, for me to win 4 world titles, I think I've done really well. Could have won more, but I haven't, you know, but I'm pretty happy with 4, you know. I'm not prepared to go to the well and give it whatever it takes to be number 1, to want to be the king of my sport. You know, as far as I'm concerned, I've been there, done that. You know, and unless I'm prepared to give it 100%, then I suppose in a way you're right. Maybe I have accepted that, you know, it's come to my end of my career, and I'll just do a Steve Davis and just hang around and just, you know, like Steve does. He just turns up for tournaments. If he plays well, great. You know, it fills a gap in his life. and that's probably how it'll be for me. And the way the game's opened up, it allows me to do that. So yeah, you know, my expectations and of what I'm going to be doing and the tournaments I'm going to be playing, I'm not going to be playing enough events to compete, probably. But that's not my ambition anymore, you know. I don't want it anywhere near like I did last year. You know, I was ready last year. Played a lot of snooker. I had a point to prove because I had 2 kind of lean years for personal problems that was going on in my life. And then obviously to win here was just like the absolute icing on the cake. So I proved to myself and to a lot of the doubters out there that to never doubt me, and I'll let you know when I'm finished. Obviously the more you go into the competition, the tougher it gets. And how I get on against a player that's obviously been playing regular and finds a bit of form will be the true test, you know. So you know, it'll probably show up a bit more when I play like someone like Ali. Obviously, who's a very good player at the Crucible, who's won a tournament this year. You know, one of the top 8 players. So I mean, that would probably be a real test of where I'm at, really. You wouldn't be human if you didn't have adrenaline running through your body. So it's just how you manage it sometimes, you know. And I've learned to manage it a lot better. But yeah, you still feel pressure. You have to. You know, I'm here to compete. I've always been a competitor. I always like to win, but you know, again, I have to be realistic about my chances. And you know, I've won one match. That was great. I'm into the second round, so you know, it's continuing. But where it goes from here, you know, you just don't know.
Always fascinating to hear Ronnie's thoughts. That interview was recorded last night, incidentally, and obviously still focused on the target of becoming, at 37, the oldest world champion since Ray Reardon at 46 in 1978. So plenty at stake here for Ronnie and indeed for everybody else. And in particular, of course, the world #1 Mark Selby. He's up against Barry Hawkins, the reigning Australian Open champion, in a very, very tight match here. Now, Selby has been putting other players on the spot for the last 18 months. He's already, as you know, won the Masters and the UK title. So I think it's time we put Mr. Selby on the spot for a change.
Sometimes I think it can be. I mean, I'll say that myself, but other times, obviously, like the last few years, I think I made 50-odd centuries last year and 50-odd centuries the year before, so I can show that, obviously, I can mix it both ways. Barry seems to think that snooker needs a change, and the only way you can make it fair is to put everyone in the first round and everyone on a level playing field. I disagree with that. I mean, every time I get asked by World Snooker to do something to promote the game, I'm more or less the first one to put my hand up and do that, yeah. Well, I'm not sure about that. I mean, obviously it's very difficult. If you're not winning matches now, you're not earning money, so as far as I'm concerned, yeah, it's definitely a job. Never. Never, ever. I enjoy what we do. I mean, we're fortunate to go and see the countries we go to, and also doing something we love doing and getting paid for. I don't know why I do it. When I'm on the shot, I don't feel myself doing what I actually physically see. So it's not affected me over years, and I'm still winning matches and still competing and winning tournaments, so it's not too much to worry about. I'd like to win it, and obviously I'll be going out there every year trying to win it, and if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't, but I'll be giving it my all. Too nice? I don't believe that for 1 minute.
I used to live on a council estate, and a few of the friends and that used to go down to snooker clubs, so I joined them and just fell in love with it really straight away, and it was somewhere to go as well, like at least I wasn't hanging around the streets and stuff like that really, so I suppose mum and dad prefer that, so yeah, I don't know, I just really like playing and just down there all the time. I just wanted to get better and better and enter tournaments and win matches and stuff like that, and yeah, that was part of the reason why I loved it, and I suppose it was the challenge I was looking for, really. I can definitely remember making my first century, and I can remember missing my first century as well, missing a black off the spot. I actually think I miscued. I think I was trying to deep screw it in for the yellow and make a total clearance on my first go, but I miscued, and next time I got in that situation, I think I just rolled the ball in for the century, so just to make sure. So yeah, I definitely remember that, but yeah, there's been so many memories over the years, really. Once you get to a certain level, you know, you just got to keep getting better and better, especially like at the top end of the game. Yeah, I mean, winning and stuff like that's really more enjoyable and stuff, obviously, and the buzz of being introduced into a full arena is really nice, but I wouldn't say it gets any easier, that's for sure. When you're winning big matches and stuff like that, that's when the buzz kicks in, and playing in front of packed houses and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a great buzz, really. So I suppose you don't get the same buzz like when you're playing when you're a junior. You're just playing because you absolutely love it. But yeah, no, I mean that's the buzz you're looking for in winning matches and playing in front of packed houses now.
Well, Barry and Mark came back to play to a finish this afternoon, and it was the world #1 leading by 9 frames to 7. We're going to pick them up in frame 17. It's Selby to play here. He's ahead by 12, and it's the former world #3 Neil Foulds and John Virgo who've teamed up for this.
He's been a bit edgy, Mark Selby. If he can win the frame, none of those poor shots will matter. Ooh, another one. Well, you said edgy, Neil, and how edgy was that? When he knocked a ball in the middle earlier on in this frame, made it look so easy. Bit of pressure on that, I suppose.
1.
So that mistake could cost him the frame. The only hope for him, you would think, is the awkward pink, because Barry Hawkins is going to need that if he's going to clinch the frame at this visit. He's got to be careful with this one. He doesn't snooker himself with the brown. Oh, well, the yellow must pass the green into the far right corner pocket. That's a bonus. 7 points behind. Needs up to and including the pink.
Eight.
He just had a quick glance at the pink. I think he'll worry about that a little bit later on. Don't know whether he'd like to try and cannon it out.
11.
Just fancy potting it down the cushion. We'll know more after this shot. Yeah, I mean, normally you'd like to put the cue ball on the left-hand side of the table, play the blue in the right middle and play the cannon, but the black's blocking the blue to the right middle. Starting to come this side.
50.
Needs to slow up a little bit. Well, it looks absolutely dead straight. So if he can't get on the pink off this shot. Couldn't be straighter. Looking there, but he's only looking for a safety. Yeah, I wonder if he could just screw it onto the black half ball or something. And get a shot down the cushion. I don't think he's even looked at that. I'm not saying it's an easy shot at all. No.
20.
He's obviously going to play safe here, and he's got to make it a good one. Yeah, absolutely, because the black is going to be easy, so he's got to get this pink safe. Trying to use the black as a snookering ball. This looks pretty good. It's pretty good. It's got the snooker. Yeah, clever shot. Priority was to get the pink safe. And the snooker was a big bonus. Now, I wonder if Mark is able to use left-hand side, get round
the back of the black and hit the pink from behind. I think he's got to really dig into the cue ball to get that. It's almost a swerve around the black if he's going to play that shot, as opposed to just a bit of side. Yeah, he's really got to get loads on here.
Well, on another day it could have hit the knuckle and gone behind the black and got a snooker, but it hasn't. So just this pink. Get within one. Oh, dear me. That's a great chance. Gone begging.
Yeah, and it's a very nervy frame. As the black was slightly in his eye line. It's not so much a big frame to win now, it's a horrible one to lose for both players.
Well, a decent safety shot. Well, there's a possibility here. He could think about the pot on the pink. Can only hit half of it, so if he's going to play it thin on the right-hand side, why not think about playing the pot into the far left corner? No. But he's played it well. It's good length with the pink. An excellent length with the pink. Good shot.
Well, both players having a look. Has it gone far enough? Pretty much. For a while, it looked like there was going to be a shot for Barry. But it's close enough to that bulk cushion. Barry's going to play another good shot here. Priority, again, just one thing, object ball safe. Worry too much about the cue ball. It's a bit weighty, and of course, Mark will have to have a go at this, I feel, with the black near the middle pocket. He should get a shot at the black if this goes in.
And then it goes. Now that cue ball's running towards the corner pocket, but it won't reach. And Barry Hawkins will be kicking himself here.
Just wonder if it's a little bit close to the in-off. I think he could probably get to the lower on the cue ball to stop that happening, but I think the natural angle's close to in-off.
Yeah, but as you say, he can get to the bottom of the cue ball, so he can put it, impart a little bit of backspin to avoid the in-off. Well, would you believe it?
Mark Selby 6.
Unbelievable.
Settle down, please.
Well, what a reprieve for Barry Hawkins. Surely he won't miss this. No, he doesn't. Well, lucky to get the second chance, and he knows it's shake of the head, but he'll take it. Take what you can. He's now within one frame of the world #1, Mark Selby. It's now 9-8.
And in fact, Hawkins has levelled at 9-all with a break of 30. Selby has just won a long 19th frame, though, to take a 10-9 lead. Remember, the first of 13 goes through. They're not even at their interval yet. And remember, it is online, and we'll be joining that a little bit later when the tension really kicks in, although it's pretty high now, as you can see. But back now to table 1. 4 more frames to play this afternoon. The defending champion, Ronnie O'Sullivan, 3-1 in front. They've just broken off in frame 5, so it's back to Ken and Willie.
Yes, thank you, Hazel. Haven't missed much. It's just been a break off and safety shot. Brown has come to Ronnie's rescue. Just makes this safety shot now for A.Carter a little bit more tricky, particularly if he decides to bring the cue ball back down to balk. May just play a little glancing shot off this side of the table. Well, he's decided to take the chance. Well, he may leave this red unless the yellow comes to his rescue. And that was a bit of a gamble. I'm not sure that was the right shot.
Well, we're just sitting in the commentary box thinking Ronnie's a bit lucky to have left it like he has. Well, I suppose he is, but under normal circumstances, Ronnie would have knocked the long one in. What would A.Carter prefer, him to miss the pot or get away with it? Well, he'd prefer him to miss the pot.
Well, he could have played that one better. This red does pot into the right centre. He also may take it down into the corner pocket. The only problem about playing it into the centre is that, you know, he's losing the cue ball a little bit, so that's why he's going to take it into the corner pocket. We're looking right down the line again. He's not as sharp as he was in the first round. Normally his long ball game is well up in the 80–90%. It's down as far as 47% now for Ronnie O'Sullivan. That's pretty low. Long putt success for A.Carter, 60%.
A little bit fortunate to get round the back of that red. He completely mishit the pot. He played to pot that red. And if he'd have got somewhere near the pot, he'd have gone the other side of the red, not around the back of it. So they're kind of little things Ali's got to remember. You know, when Ronnie gets away with one or two, now and again you get away with them yourself.
That's an uncharacteristic mistake. He's left a half chance. Will you see it again?
One.
I'm not quite sure whether he has the angle here in this blue. Try and come off side cushion, top cushion, go into that red or black. Try and bring it into play. It's pretty good. How's his luck? Well, he's knocked the black away from the red, but it's gone close to another red. Still can get back up for the blue. So.
Seven.
Yeah, disappointed with that. Just wanted to avoid that red, get back up for blue and keep the break going, but that's end of break.
Yellow. A.Carter 7.
That's a better safety shot from Ronnie. He's not played the last couple of safeties very good, but that's a good one. Red on the cushions in the way down the right-hand side. I'd like the cue ball to finish somewhere on top of the yellow almost. That would be nice. It would have covered the left-hand side of the reds if he got near the yellow, but it hasn't quite hit it hard enough. I wonder whether Ronnie's going to be tempted with a long one. He hasn't potted one all day that I can remember.
Ronnie purposely swung the cue ball off those 4 cushions, but just came up a bit too much. He's left him a half chance. But there's a bit of pressure on this type of shot. And there's an example of the cue pair of A.Carter screwing back into bulk. Watch the cue ball here. You've got to get really into the cue ball to play those type of shots, really. It takes a lot of good cueing. And that red that's gone over the bottom left-hand corner pocket is causing a little bit of a problem here for Ronnie.
think he's trying to... The red that nearest the black spot, the two reds together, the one on the left-hand side, I think he's actually trying to play a thin safety shot off that one. Ken's put a circle on the red that he's trying to get through to, but I'm not too sure he can. And looking at that picture, Ken, he definitely can't.
Well, can he get through the gap? It's just gone on that fraction, hasn't it? But he might be able to play the red up the cushion, play a plant. Any sort of connection on that red over the pocket, you would expect the red to drop. Well, it's hard to believe, isn't it? He's definitely left the gap for O'Sullivan now. That's unfortunate for A.Carter. He would have expected any sort of a connection on that red over the pocket, will he? And the red would have dropped.
Well, he just looked up to his friends in the balcony to explain just that. I mean, not only that, he's actually left the red on. Not bound to get up for the blue or black from this, though. There's always going to be a dead cue ball, that, coming off that cushion, and if it's on the pink, it's been fortunate, but not quite.
Yeah, just another couple of inches and he would have been perfect, wouldn't he?
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1.
Well, there you see Hawkeye's view. It's covered on that red. Into the bottom left-hand corner pocket. Good safety shot there from Ronnie O'Sullivan. He has A.Carter in a lot of trouble here. Not quite sure he can land on the black cushion as we look here. Leave the cue ball down here somewhere near the bottom right-hand corner pocket. Oh, well, he's found one. Well, that was an excellent shot. Not only found the pot, but just the gap back to balk. Have a look at this.
Yes, he's not even looking at the green. The green looks the easy shot to, not easy pot, but looks a pot where he could normally take it on. So he's hoping for a better chance.
Touching ball.
Well, he's on the red to the left centre, but as you see, when the proximity of the cue ball to red, it doesn't have all the ball, which makes it so much more difficult. Got to be careful going back up the balk that he doesn't leave the red to the right centre for Ronnie O'Sullivan. It's pretty good. Covered the one to the right centre, but not really far enough down to stop Ronnie possibly having a go at this one into the left corner pocket. It's awkward bridging, and his long ball success hasn't been that great as of yet.
Good long pot this, unfortunately. Caught the red on the back of the cushion, which took the pace out of the cue ball. The pink is on, but I don't think he'll be playing it. I was wondering about playing the slow swerve to hit the yellow, I think. I don't think he can hit the yellow full ball.
Yellow ball, thanks.
A little bit of side look, you can see him queuing down on it. If anything, that should start to drift the other way now, but it's played it well.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1.
Well, this is a possibility, but he's always a little bit worried about that red to the right centre. And of course, you've got to be so precise and so exact with that particular shot. That's why he doesn't like it. Well, he went full-blooded. He's going to need a little bit of luck here. It's not too bad. This could have been a lot worse than that. At the moment, it's got a little bit pear-shaped for both players. A bit scrappy, missing uncharacteristic pots. Not really taken off yet, has it? Oh, that little kiss on the red. Just a little snick on the red, just knocked it over the pocket.
You can see how he's starting to bemoan his luck a little bit, and he's got to realise he's had a few chances in this match so far. A lot more than he would have expected coming into Ronnie O'Sullivan's. O'Sullivan is not playing at his best yet.
One.
Played that nicely. Choice of blue or pink in the middle.
Six. Seven.
Just about time for us to take our leave of you here on BBC One. We will be back on BBC Two in a few moments' time, but before we do, quick look at what's happening on the other side. World number 1 Mark Selby in a real scrap with the number 14 Barry Hawkins. Selby had needed a snooker in frame 20, didn't get it. There's Barry clearing up here to make it 10 frames each with only a possible 5 more to play. This has been a tense, grinding 4 frames so far this afternoon from them. Hawkins has never reached a Crucible quarter-final, going very well here. And Selby, of course, going for the triple crown of titles this season. So it's very tense indeed, and it is 10 frames apiece. So much more snooker when we return over on BBC Two in around 40 seconds' time. So get yourself settled, grab the remote, and I do hope that you will come with us. We'll catch you again in a few moments' time, and in the meantime, bye for now.
We have the final score next on BBC One.
Join us for Five Live's big day out in Liverpool on June the 1st. See Fighting Talk live and the 606 End of Season Awards with myself, Colin Murray, Mark Chapman, Robbie Savage and loads of special guests. There'll also be live music from the one and only Primal Scream. To get your tickets and for more info, go online.
Christopher Biggins and Leslie Joseph have their sights set on the Pointless Celebrities Trophy. How low can they go? Find out at 5:20. Now, it's the final score on BBC One.
Reading 2, Bournemouth 0, Shrewsbury 0.
West Ham United 0.
Trying to avoid relegation.
He was one of the heroes of the afternoon.
Applause from the away supporters.
The latest score is Wimbledon through to the Premier.
John Terry's tears, we all remember, and Wanderers to a crucial week.
Hello, welcome to Final Score. A busy afternoon is well upon us here with those in League One and Two, especially facing a nervy final 20 minutes or so. Today's dynamic duo, Garth and Robbie, have been casting their eye over everything that's been happening over the last couple of hours on the Red Button and the website. And if you've got any questions for the guys, tweet them using the hashtag BBC Football and get involved via the live text on the BBC Sport website as well. OK, here are the latest scores in the Premier League for you. It's the early kickoff. I'll tell you about first. Manchester City 2, West Ham 1. City may have lost their title this week, but they did at least get back to winning ways. Goals from Aguero and Toure, Yaya Toure, that is, gave them victory over the Hammers at lunchtime. Everton 1, Fulham 0. The Toffees are keeping the pressure up on the top 5. Stephen Pienaar's first half goal, the difference at Goodison at the moment. Southampton trailing West Brom by 2-0. The Baggies are set to do the double over Southampton thanks to goals from Marc-Antoine Fortune and Romelu Lukaku, and both sides are down to 10 men. It's Stoke 1, Norwich City 0. Charlie Adams' goal just after half-time means Stoke are on course to reach the magical 40-point mark. And Wigan 2, Tottenham 1. If the Latics can hang on, they'll be out of the relegation zone this evening, and it would have dented Spurs' Champions League hopes in the process. Gareth Bale put the visitors ahead. Emerson Boyce got Wigan right back into it.